Hi, my name's Lofty, and in this video I wanted to talk about what it's really like to be a solo pirate in Star Citizen. And I wanted to bring you some of the many clips of me pirating people over the course of the past few months in Star Citizen 3.23 with RMC trading at Rappel and Pickersfield. Now, in this clip, you can see that I simply have a knife, and this man is unarmed, and unfortunately for him, or her, they should have been armed. If they'd have simply been armed, this would not have happened to them, and I think this is the fault of players coming here in a sperm suit with no weapons and no backup and buying a full constellation full of RMC. I have literally no remorse for these people, and I'm glad that this is changing in 3.24 because it will stop these kinds of things happening, hopefully, at least. So here we've got another classic example. Someone turning up to buy RMC, and they just didn't close the cargo ramp. And I just simply wait for the RMC to pop into existence and then run into the ship. And he could have made it harder for me by closing the cargo ramp. Could have checked his corners. He could have even had a weapon. Didn't even have a weapon. Which is just very unfortunate. So yep, there we go. It's off to Grim Hex and over 1 million RMC for me. Now, pirating is too easy at the moment, and it's only going to get easier with 3.24 with the physicalized nature of cargo. But players need to have more common sense, man. Honestly, like the amount of people I've pirated that just turn up completely unarmed with no backup. Ridiculous. Look at this. Look at this. This C2 is just open. The guy left the cargo ramp open to go and run and buy the RMC from the terminal. He even brought backup. This guy's got a Gladius as backup, just in case. But he's left the cargo ramp open, and I'm just waiting here to watch the C2 magically fill up with RMC. It's ridiculous. Now, this isn't a flaw in the game design. This is a flaw of the player and their common sense about not doing these high-risk things without taking precautions. And he's done everything right here. He's got a Gladius as backup. He's got a weapon. He's got armor. But he's left the cargo ramp door open, and then suddenly, bing! Let's go. Crazy. Look at this. This is 8.6 million credits worth of RMC right here. 20 crates of 32 SCU. And I'm just waiting now. I'm just waiting for him. He's got an escort, so I'm just waiting for him to get out of atmosphere and to engage quantum, and then I can just take the ship. And again, this isn't a fault in the game design. This isn't griefing. I'm not griefing this person. He left his ship open. I'm not stopping him enjoying the game. I'm not doing anything to disrupt him playing the game the way he wants to play it. Other people simply need to realise that this is a PvP VE game. And look, he's destroyed my ship. He's committed a crime against me. Isn't that justification in itself for me to take him out and take his ship? So yeah, anyway, you know how this goes. We're just waiting for him to get out of atmosphere and get into quantum before we dispatch him and take his ship and all the RMC and sell it at Grim Hex. And like I say, I don't really have any remorse for this guy, because he could have avoided all of this by simply shutting that cargo bay door. He literally could have just shut the cargo bay door, and I wouldn't have been able to get into the ship without another ship, or without backup. So, don't really have any remorse. Anyway, like I say, it's off to Grim Hex to sell all of this. So yeah, I guess we've got to talk a little bit about where Piracy's going with 3.24 and the sort of physicalized nature of cargo. With the changes to RMC, obviously, I think Pickersfield and Rappel are going to be dead in terms of traders and in terms of pirating opportunities. And I think we're going to have to, as pirates, work a lot harder in order to find the profitable things, to find the profitable trade routes. We're going to have to invest a lot more in things like mantises and cutlass blues in order to disrupt people's quantums and to snare them. that kind of thing. It's even down to scouring the asteroid field at Yellow or Lagrange Point for people doing salvage and reclaimers. It's all these kinds of things that are going to change because of the physicalized nature of cargo, which is now something that all players who run cargo will have to deal with, and not just pirates. As you can see in these clips, we've been dealing with, having to deal with 32 SCU crates for a long time. So I think that's something that is also going to fundamentally change, is the way that players interact with cargo and the way that people choose to pirate or not, because you are now so vulnerable as a cargo runner if you're running cargo from somewhere that's not an armistice zone. Because the chance of you being pirated is extremely high if you have to spend half an hour loading the cargo. And is it really worth your time? So I think we're going to see a lot more people doing salvage in vultures and reclaimers, because you'll now be able to rent them. So I think that will increase the opportunities for pirates to see those ships out there, because at the moment you don't see a lot of reclaimers because they're a big investment, and obviously if you're going to pirate a reclaimer, there's a high chance that you'll know about it on the server because people will be asking for crew. So, and you don't see it very often, in my experience at least. So I think you'll see a lot more of that now, because you're able to rent these ships. You can go make money with these ships, and because the RMC itself, the sell price hasn't essentially changed. It's the way that people interact when buying it. If you scrape RMC, you're still going to make 100% profit. So I think there's going to be more of a focus on that. I think there's going to be more of a focus on Vaughn missions if they're still profitable with Weaver legs. I would love to see some unverified cargo missions where the cargo from those missions is contraband and it sells for a higher price and it's riskier. That would be a really cool game loop, because you would finally have smuggling. You'd finally have a reason to have these ships like the MSR that have smuggling compartments, or data running or something like that. I think that's a good foundation to start with, and I think that opens up a lot more opportunities for pirates in the future to have more varied cargo, to have more places to sell varied cargo. We're not just relying on Weaver legs, because at the moment they eclipse all price compared to Slam or Maze. So where do you go from there in terms of how this game loop evolves? It's going to be interesting to see, because as it stands now on the 18th of August that I'm recording this, we haven't seen much piracy in 3.24 because the PTU's only just been opened up to all waves. So it will be interesting once it hits live to see what the changes will be like for that interaction, because I don't believe that everything in this game should be risk-free. I don't believe that you should be able to go and do anything and it still be completely 100% safe. There's always that element of someone, like real life, coming along and just ruining your day. And it's happened to me, it's happened to everyone I know who plays games like this. It's just part of the game. And like I say, I feel like the onus is on players to be more conscientious about what they're doing. Here's another classic example. Constellation lands. The person goes to buy his RMC. He does not have a weapon. He does not have any armor. He does not have any backup. He actually closes the lift. Good for him, because it's quite hard to break into a Constellation on the ground. But there's such a thing as called a window of opportunity. And my window of opportunity is when he comes back to open that elevator hatch right there. So we're just going to wait around for him. Oh, and here we go, he just phased into existence. He didn't check his surroundings at all, and this is my window of opportunity. He's called the elevator down. All I need to do is take him out now, basically. And that's that done. Now this window of opportunity is only going to extend in 3.24. You are going to have to spend a lot more time on the ground loading up your ship. So unless you can afford escorts, it's probably best that you run a smaller ship. Because doing this kind of thing solo will no longer be viable if you have to do everything yourself. So I guess you could probably call this the golden age of piracy in Star Citizen, because it's never been easier to pirate someone in Star Citizen as it is right now in 3.23. Look at this. Ridiculous. And literally all I have to do is just fly that near Grim Hex and load it up. And that's it. So yeah, that's where I think piracy's going. I think that the variety of things to pirate should increase, but I also think that the places and the how you're going to have to spread yourself as a solo pirate or as a pirate crew is going to change as well. I think that it's going to open up a lot more snaring opportunities, a lot more quantum dampening opportunities. Hopefully there'll be more trade routes, there'll be more profitable cargo. We'll have to wait and see, and how it gets balanced over the course of the PTU waves and once that hits live. In my experience, once things hit live, they don't tend to change too much. My bounty hunter contracts have been broken now for months and months and months, despite the fact that we've tried everything. It's on the issue council, it's Spectrum or whatever. We tried getting contracts shared in game with me and completing them, that doesn't seem to work, so here we are. That's why I've resorted to piracy, because it's the only other emergent thing of gameplay that I can find in this game that's worth doing, that isn't straight up just murder hoboing. You know, there's actually a reason to do it, there's profit to be made, so there's a reason to do it. You know, and I just think that aspect of the game should be lauded a lot more, because at the moment the emergent aspects of the gameplay are few and far between, unless you have a focal point for players, unless you have something for people to fight over, unless you have something for people to engage with each other over. Jumptown's a classic example. You know, why Jumptown doesn't run 24/7, I have no idea. You know, you could be a drug runner 24/7. People can come in and disrupt the operation, you know? But instead they have to use it as an event for some reason, so it's only active for a certain amount of time, which to me just doesn't make sense. Anyway, hopefully there'll be a lot more to do with illegal cargo, unverified cargo missions. The profits from those hopefully will be higher in the future, because, like I say, for me, as it stands at the moment, pirating in Star Citizen is just far too easy. It's far too easy to kill your target, it's far too easy to take their ship, and it's far too easy to just grab all of its RMC and sell it. So I'm glad that that's changing. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Is pirating too easy now? Will it be harder in the future? Thanks for watching.